Hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed my new invention, and that is the countdown, including the song, which I'm super not afraid. How does it call? Well, I don't want to use a track or music that would get me sued or that would get me banned from YouTube. So this was my song from a long time ago, maybe 2010. So I hope you enjoyed it, or that it didn't really. If you didn't care for it, that's fine, because I don't do that anymore. But anyway, I thought that it might be nice. Of course, I botched something else today, and that is the actual scheduling, because we are starting as normal at 10 a.m. Or 7 a.m. And I think I scheduled it for 11 a.m. for whatever reason. So sorry about that. Hope that, I mean, there's not that many of you, right? But still, it's kind of a mistake. So anyway, what do I want to talk about today? Sorry, I have to also drink coffee for some reason. So we probably want to do something with Necromancy again, because that's what the game is about. I just wanted to show you the UI work that I'm still kind of, here and there working on. It's not a priority, because first I need to make sure that the game actually is fun and plays well, and everything works at the kind of the backend side of things. And that's what we'll be doing today. But also I in parallel work on the UI. So this is the UI from a few months ago, and again, the progress is slow, but it's getting there. As you can see, we now have, can you see this? Yes, we now have like an appearing thing. This is a lot more text than I actually want in the final game. I mean, like, there's gonna be this much text, but there's gonna be more interaction between the paragraphs, and yeah. It's also, so as you can see, it's a little more padded. Everything is padded to the single pad, if you know what I mean. Like here it's a little haphazard. I was just throwing around padding willy-nilly. So now it's more streamlined, and there's the effect, and also now I have this kind of thing where if I click here and click here, it will give me a little bit of a like a breadcrumb navigation, and I can click, but I can also do this. So that's pretty cool, I think, right? Yeah. Anything else? I don't think so. I think it's all there. Yeah. Okay, so I will take care of this one, and this is what we're doing now is the features, Necromancy after fight. So to show you what's going on, I will play a little bit of my own game in my debug mode. And I can go and just play from the start, and then I'll cheat my way through I can cheat my way through the first fight. What we implemented maybe a few things back, was the Necromancy that is during the fight. So someone kills someone and you're fighting, and you will either, even if it's your friend or if it's your enemy, you can turn them undead, and that gives you a little more strategy during the fight, where you're like, oh, I can be finding this myself, or I can turn someone undead and let them deal with it. You know, so you're a necromancer, right? So we are kind of done with that, and obviously when you turn them undead, then they will keep following you, and it's just like, you know, it works as you would expect. You cannot like put them back to sleep, which is something that we will probably need to do at some point, because we can't have a game where you're followed by undead people who you've turned undead before and you don't really want them, you know. So right, I will yeah, so okay. Sorry, I'm losing my track. So you can do this during the fight, but the problem is at some point you're like, well, I want to also do this after the fight, right? Like, it's kind of weird that you can turn someone undead when there's like swords flying around you and so on, but then when it's idle and nothing is happening, you suddenly can. So it's obviously, like, I consider it a bug. It's not even a thing that you could improve. It's like, you know, of course you need to be able to do this. So yeah, we let me try, and I will you know what, I will just pick up the sword. No, I'll kick it out. Okay, I kicked out the sword, and then I will try to throw my dagger at the goblin. It rams into the goblin's left leg. I don't know if you can see all this. The leg goes limp. That's great, and briefly covers. Okay, I kind of want the goblin to kill Tamara at this point, who's my friend, but I just want to show you how you can. I hope you don't hear it as much as I do. There's something happening in my in the next apartment. Anyway, I want Tamara to be killed because I want to show you how you can turn undead during fight. But I'm pretty sure I will just, yeah. Oh no, I die. Okay, let's try again. So I tried to break his neck and I failed, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then the goblin jumped on me and broke my head. This doesn't happen that often, to be killed in this game, which is by design. But it should happen. Like, if you're doing something really stupid, I think it should happen. And I was doing something stupid. So, all right. So let's do some more of this. I wanna. Tamara tries to dodge but fails. The goblin slashes her right thigh, and she falls to the ground. Okay, so now like my true colors will show. I will just wait. The goblin chuckles. I like how, you know, this is actually a scripted event. The goblin chuckles and Tamara blows in frustration. I hate this place, but it like, the brain is so good at figuring out. I mean, that brain is really good at finding meaning, and at this point it just, like, it's so delicious almost. Like, you know, Tamara falls to the ground, she's in trouble, and I wait, and the goblin chuckles, and she, you know, balls in frustration and says, I hate this place. So yeah, that's the kind of little things that I want to keep in this game. Okay, she tries to crawl out of harm's way. The goblin chooses me to, you know, I don't know. I'll just stand my ground. It's fine. I expose my arm. I improve my stance because I lost it. I assume better stance. Tamara throws the sword at the goblin and he moves out of its way. He strikes down at Tamara, but she's able to roll out of the way. So that was close. I wait some more. Tamara picks herself up. Oh, the goblin thrusts the rusty sword at Tamara's eye, and he bores through her left eye. Okay. She yells in pain. She briefly covers the wound and she grows. I still wait. The goblin tries to kick Tamara's feet from under and she avoids it. Good for Tamara. She stays upright. I wait. The goblin dodges Tamara's punch and thrusts the rusty sword at Tamara. She jumps back, but she's not fast enough. The goblin stabs her left eye and she grunts in pain. Okay. The goblin casts the rusty sword at me. I think maybe that's a bug. She's... Well, I mean... okay, whatever. Dodge. Wow. I want to not roll and see what happens. So he just like he casts the sword at me, and I do not dodge it, and the sword rams into my left arm. Okay, that's fine. Left arm goes limp. I grunt in pain and briefly hold my hand over the wound. Blah blah blah. It falls to the muddy ground. I will wait. Tamara picks the rusty sword and wields it. The goblin swings his fist at her and she tries to move over, but the goblin sends her to the muddy ground with a massive punch to the eye. Wait. Tamara tries to scramble. He kicks the rusty sword out of her hand, so I will wait. Come on, goblin. Kill her. Kill her. Yeah. I dodge. I can counterattack. I could probably kill him now, but I stand off. I wait. Come on. The goblin smashes. Okay, yeah. They don't have weapons. They fight between themselves. I mean, I like that kind of stuff, right? Like, if I wasn't literally hoping for Tamara, who is a better fighter, to die, this would make me happy, because it's like, oh, they're like throwing swords at each other and they're like, you know, grappling on the ground and trying to, you know, leap at each other and so on. But at this point I'm like, so kill her. Come on. Tamara grabs the rusty sword and wields it. I can see, oh wait, Filip is asking, how do you feel about roguelikes and character death? I think it makes sense in the context of a tabletop where death is usually permanent, hopefully meaningful. Yes, so Filip is asking about, like, because I was dead earlier, and sorry for replying too late, and that's just a thing that I do a lot. So I think death in roguelikes makes a lot of sense to be permanent, especially since everything is randomly generated, and so you are like, when you start from scratch, you will never go through, or almost never go through, the same kind of thing, right? But permadeath in a game that has at least a little bit of story, like imagine, I mean, that's an extreme, but imagine something like Uncharted or even Skyrim. If it had permadeath, you would just like, you would go back and you would like click through the cutscenes, you know, and just like that does not make lot of sense. This is almost a roguelike in that it's like, as you can see, it's like, I mean, it's not text, like it looks like this in the end, right? But it is text, and so it's not like a roguelike. And it is, some of these things are definitely randomly generated, but I want to have also, it's almost like a game of like a tabletop RPG campaign. And I guess in tabletop RPG campaign you can die, but it's very, 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 very rare, right? Like as a dungeon master, and I haven't been dungeon mastering for years now, but like I never almost killed the players. I always gave them something that, you know, even if I kind of cheated the rules, I gave them a way out, because if you kill in a tabletop RPG, you will basically like this is just terrible. That's the end of the party. Often, or you can create a new one, but it's a different story than with a game, right? And also in a tabletop RPG setting, you are the DM. You can improvise. You can be like, oh, you died, but you're like apprentice. You can now play your apprentice. Stuff like this, stuff that you cannot really. I don't know. Maybe you can do this, but not in this game. So anyway, that's a long way of saying. I like permadeath. It makes a lot of sense in roguelikes, but in story-based games, maybe not. Yes, Philip. Skyrim permadeath would be frustrating, I think, because you can't contribute to the meaningfulness. That's true. Yes. I should read it out loud because some people won't see this. So Skyrim permadeath would be frustrating, Philip says. I think because you can't contribute to the meaningfulness of it. That's true, but it's also I think you are like, yeah. I mean, it would like how often would you want to go through the start of Skyrim? You know, like how many times between it gets a lot frustrating. And a future consideration, what would meaningful death look like in a gamebook? I was actually discussing it, like, you know, because you're a necromancer, I'm figuring this out from the very bottom up, right? So I can say anything. I can say that you're a necromancer that can necromance yourself, or you can be a lick that never dies, right? There's my friend that I sometimes meet says, oh, it would be cool if you die and then you somehow like resurrect into a different you, and then you find the dead body, you know, that kind of stuff, roguelike stuff basically, and I like it, I have to slash it from the nights that I'm working on right now, but it would be super cool and I think very fun to consider something like this, where you're like, sure, you die, but there's another thing actually that I love, coming from, because I'm inspired by Dungeon World, which is a tabletop RPG where you can die, but there's a move, like if you die, you have a move which is meet death, and you're talking to death. And again, this is a tabletop RPG, so the dungeon master can roleplay this and improvise, and he can say things like, "Well, as death himself or herself, he can say, well, you don't need to die if you promise to do something, right? So." Or if you give me something else. So for example, in the game of Dungeon World, you can just say, I don't want to die now, and in exchange, I will betray my friend. And you don't specify the friend, but like, you know that in the next few like hours of play, you will have to betray someone. Otherwise, like you haven't, like, your promise was not upheld, and so that's the kind of thing that I would also want in this game. But you know, Dungeon World is great. Yes. All right, back to this. Back to Turning Undead. So we are still trying to get Tamara to die. Tamara tries to call the goblin, kicks towards her, but misses. Oh, he doesn't have a. Oh. The goblin sends her to the ground with a massive punch to the eye. The goblin, just take a sword or something. Or, oh, we don't have a sword? Oh, okay. Goblin. Just wait. Tamara tries to crawl. The goblin leaps at me. Come on. I dodge. Tamara rolls and puts. Okay. This is just. Yeah, I'm standing off. Just a few more tries. The goblin sends her to the muddy ground and... Oh yeah, that's good. So he kicked off her sword. Tamara tries to crawl over. The goblin throws himself upon her and she evades. Tamara grabs the rusty sword and wields it. The goblin and staggers. I think... yeah. I think Tamara just... Oh wow, she pursues his left eye. You know what? I will end this. I have just the dagger, but I can stab his torso. Yeah. Okay, so I can... We're both injured. So as you can see, well, you couldn't see it, but you would be able to turn undead if there was someone dying during the fight. But... Unfortunately, no one died. No one died until the goblin died, and when the goblin dies, the fight is over, right? Because I have a logic there when the fight continues until there are at least two parties that hate each other, and both of them have at least one actor who is able to act. So that's the logic, and because the other party was just a goblin and we killed him, that's the end of the fight. Anyway, so I can heal me and Tamara. I had a left arm apparently, yeah, and she had a left eye and left leg. I think she got hit into her left eye twice. All right, so now I'm in this room and there's the goblin there, right? And I cannot raise him from the dead, and that is very sad. And I want to fix this. So we'll go and look at the code finally after 30 minutes. Wow, I'm sorry. All right, so turn undead is this, which is like an action that is only available in the fight situation. But actually, what about if can we make it? So what's the generate objects? I hope you... I'm sorry, I'm so distracted that like someone's cutting, I think, grass outside. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this needs fight situation for this to work, because we're basically saying this action needs some objects, right? And to generate objects from the context, it goes and that assumes that you're in a fight situation, and when you're in a fight situation, we will find out who's fighting, and then we are giving them, that's the corpses, and the corpses are the objects that you can turn undead. Okay. I think but otherwise, I think we can basically reuse this code, right? We can. Yeah, I also always wanted to do this. Oh. This is because the reason I'm doing this is before this, when it was kind of well hidden, the option to turn undead was in environment, which kind of makes sense. You have an environment around you, including the corpses on the ground, but yeah, it's hidden. So instead I want to like pull it out, and so you will see, you know, Goblin's corpse, and then just turn undead. All right. For consistency's sake. But I think we basically can, let's see, do we, oh, fight situation again. Right, I think we can reuse much of the code, to be honest, unless, actually, you know what, maybe not. Maybe we can actually, we could make this a helper function somewhere. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see a bug. Sorry. So one thing that I did here, that's a bug, that is by setting pose to pose max, basically whatever the actor can do best in terms of pose, and pose can be lying on the ground, being unbalanced, being exposed, standing upright, and then combat stance. Combat stance is the best pose that you can have in this game, which is like, you know, like you're ready. So I do this, but I don't check if the actor actually can do this. And this was actually reported by Vanethos at some point. So if you have an actor who has slashed both legs, and you raise them from the dead, they will jump up, which doesn't make sense. So we will not do that, and we will instead we need to make sure that the actor, the corpse, yeah, the corpse at this point has crippled legs. Okay, so if the corpse has crippled then the pose will be pose on ground, otherwise this. Okay, so we fixed a bug. That's good. We fixed a little bug. So improve, fix bug with the standing crippled undead. Great commit. Like games like this have great commit messages. All right. So we have that. And yeah, I wonder if we just want to create a completely new I don't know. This looks like a lot of code that we would basically actually no. We do want to create a new one, because you know what? During fight, this is actually not a sure action. During fight, it will be an 80% success. So because I wanted to kind of simulate this kind of like, oh, this can be botched during a fight, right? But when you are out there and not fighting, I think it would be just frustrating if you if your raising of the undead was just botched, like if it didn't work out, because obviously we just try again, or even worse, if you couldn't try again, and now you're like, just because you had bad luck, you are not able to solve some puzzle or like prepare for a big fight or whatever. So okay, I will just create a new turn undead idle, I guess. So that's another action over here. So turn undead idle. Maybe not such a great name. Turns corpse undead to be used when we are roaming or in an idle room. Use turn undead in combat. Okay, so as I said just now, we need to make this sure success, right? We could, yeah. So it's a sure success. It's still only available to the player. We need to generate other objects because this is not great. So throw unimplemented. We also need to make sure that this is here. Right, yes. Singleton. Hey. What? Is this a typo? Oh yeah. Wow. So that's great. We also apply success. Generate objects. Apply failure. We don't know. We don't need. So we just throw unimplemented error. We don't. It's not rerollable, obviously. We don't need real resource and real template. It is proactive. It is not aggressive. Tuning corpses on there will make them fight for you. All this is, by the way, very early, like the way this works. Here it actually, sorry. So the text here is all very early, and I will need to edit it. In this case, I actually want to put it into environment. Okay. Really? Okay. Okay, and turn undead, other actor action base. Turn undead idle. This all looks good. Yep. Okay. So now if I run the test, and I try not to run tests during streams because it's pretty slow. Everything gets slower because of the package that actually streams my screen and everything. But this would fail because Actually, you know what? Let's just run the tests so that you believe me. This should, at some point, this should blow up because we have a with an action that is just throwing. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I have been wrong before, and sometimes the what's actually throwing is something else. But yeah, this is an unimplemented error, as you can see, as you hopefully can see. You see this? Yeah. All right. I am also ignoring the chat again. Damn. Hey, Philip. I will get back to you, but I need to. I would be too distracted. So. First of all, generate objects. We need to somehow know where are the corpses and how they. I mean, we can't rely on fight situation here because we are not in fight situation. So, where do we actually put when someone dies? When someone dies, fight situation. Okay. Okay. So we are we actually adding the corpses anywhere? Maybe we are. Maybe we aren't actually. Weird. So we just kill them and leave them be? Interesting. What about rooming situation? On after each action, we just move corpses. Oh, we have a get corpses. We have a get corpses for everything. Wait. Right. So this is all the corpses in the world. That's pretty cool. That's what I'll use. So so we have. So corpses is all the corpses in the world, except we also do if and I will use this as well. Current room name is get room parent. All right, this will work. So final current room is same as context simulation. We do this except we do also the actor, final actor, which is like the player probably, unless we make it more, you know, we could let others do necromancy obviously in the game, but I don't think that's a good idea. So that's context actor, and therefore actor current room name. So what we're doing here is we're finding out what the current room is, there, meaning where is the actor, and we're making sure to kind of normalize it, right? Because we have this this idea that rooms have variants, so you can come into a room like this room, and there could be like this room in normal circumstances is just this room, right? But you could come into this room after an earthquake, and that would have different enemies, different descriptions, many other things, but it would still be the same room in the same position. And obviously we could do this the usual way to do this would be like, oh, there's one room, but in that room, if the earthquake happened, then describe this. And yeah. And if and so there would be many ifs at every point of the room. So instead, I just like put the if at the top and say, if the earthquake happened, use this variant of a room, and if it didn't happen, use the default. And so therefore, this is very nice from the perspective of the writer, because you can be just like, oh, I just want the room to look very different when something else happens. But it's more work when you're trying to actually find out if two people are in the same room. You need to get the parent, right? So anyway, this is a long way of saying we now have the parent of the room, so we know where normalized is where the player is, and then here we can be like, whoever is, so A ID is not actor ID, and A is active and is not animated, meaning that they are dead, or yeah, they're dead, and A, the same thing like here. I guess name, probably the safest one is name equals current room. I wonder if rooms have good equality. Probably not. Oh yeah, they are. They do. Okay, cool. So we don't need to do the name, and we just do this. All right. So once again, these are the corpses, and these are actors that are not the main actor, which is the player in this case. They are active, which means they are not kind of hidden from the game. Some actors can start as inactive, and then they can kind of get active. It's not that they are not alive; they're just there in the game, waiting to be activated. Is animated is basically either alive or undead. So if it's not animated, it's like dead. And then are they in the same room as the actor? Actually, yes. Okay. So this is now an interval of actors that are corpses, and yeah, I think we can just do this. So that would be generate objects and corpses. That's cool. So now that I have this one, this is what I do whenever I'm distracted by something. I just put this, and so I know that where to start because there's an actual syntax error. And now I'm getting back to, wow, a lot of chat. Sorry, people. So could there be a logic for deadly situation? Unlimited enemies like a horde. I'm actually thinking of the conquest battles from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I haven't played the game, but I hear it's awesome and I want to play it. There could definitely be, there's actually, so if you in 2017, my first prototype of this game, kind of like tech demo, was released, and actually, if you go to a gamebook, you can try it out. And because I'm streaming, this will never finish, so you can try it at home. And that was fine, you know. But also at the same year, I think there was NaNoGenmo. NaNoGenmo is National Novel Generation Month, right? So there's obviously the National Novel Writing Month or whatever, where people get the month of November and they will write a novel during that 1 month. And that's like a way to kind of get you going and just like, you know, write this book. And an event that is like much less publicized is NaNoGenmo, which is like novel generation, like writing novel generation code. And so I took this prototype and I made it into a novel generation thing. And obviously all these things are pretty terrible, right? Like most of the NaNoGenmo entries are made in like a few hours, and you're trying to, or maybe like a few days, but like it never produces an actual readable novel. Like there's no Faulkner in NaNoGenmo. It's things like, oh, some you know, it will take Wikipedia articles and kind of try to string them together, and it just outputs this like long novel. And I think you have to have at least 50,000 words or something like that for that to be there. Long story short, at that point I was so enamored with my little web prototype of eGamebook that I said, you know what? I have this fight thing, so I will just like make it into an infinite fight. So basically, I created a script that is largely based on eGamebook at that era, and it basically just like generates a never-ending fight. So whenever you kill someone as a player, also it plays itself, so it just like generates this whole 50,000 words book, and then and in that book, like, you can go to any page and there will be a randomly generated goblin or whatever, and the player will be fighting it, and then either he will be killed, the player, and then will raise from the dead, or he will kill the goblin and then 2 other goblins will come at him. And so like it's randomly generated, and the fight also, as you can see here, is randomly generated. And so like anyway, so yeah, so that would be one way to do it. It's so again, a long way of saying I have already done this once, except I kind of resurrected the player every time because I needed to make it 50,000 words long. But you can definitely have, and I actually think that I will do this at some point in this book where if you do something really, really stupid, like you will actually pick a fight with the Knights of San Francisco, which is the kind of the name of the story. You will just like you will be able to fight them, that you will be fighting them forever. Or maybe not, but maybe you will fight just 100 knights, and then after that I will actually, you know, tell you that you won or something. But I think it's a fun concept. It's a fun concept from the perspective of the game designer. It's not very fun from the perspective of the player. Yeah. Oh, Philip actually told me more about this. In these conquest battles, there's a timer, and hopefully you turn the tide of the battle in your side's favor, but the win condition could be anything, such as finding an escape route. Yes, okay, so yeah, that's what you mean. Okay, that's another thing that I was also thinking about. Like, in my book, there's factions that basically war with each other, and I hope to be able to kind of put you into a battle where like there's like 100 orcs and 100 knights, and you can go through that battle and you can try and help one of the, well, obviously probably the knights win, and your contribution is kind of small because you're just one of the 100, but it still counts. So yes, I hope to be able to do that. It's a little harder to do in prose because, as I mentioned some weeks ago, in a video game you can just like show 100 orcs and that's fine, right? Like you can see, oh, there's 100 orcs, okay, and they're doing something all the time. In prose, in a book, you will never be able to like describe 100 orcs other than just saying, hey, there's 100 orcs and they're fighting. So you have to kind of have like a fog of war. You know, like imagine a book. In a book, and there's a hero and he's part of a fight. You will not no writer will describe the whole fight in the same level of detail for everything, right? They will be like, oh, the hero is like fighting this orc, and they were doing the thing that I'm trying to do with eGamebook, but then the rest of the field is gonna be like, oh, and by the way, you know, 50 orcs got killed in the meantime. Whatever, that's terrible prose, but you know, that kind of level of detail goes immediately down right when like 2 meters off the main hero, and so you need to be clever about, like, you cannot just like put 100 knights and 100 orcs and the player in the same fight situation that I have now, because in that situation, like, I'm describing everything, because I want you to be able to be like, oh, I'm fighting with this goblin, but Tamara is fighting with that orc, and that orc is now vulnerable, so I will kind of jump into that fight. Anyway, Gregory, happy development from Italy. Seems like we will get 2 hours of Philip with boring show. Yeah. Hey, Gregory. All right, back to work. Start here. All right, so we are applying success and we cannot actually use this. So this is us not in fight situation. Here's the contentious point whether necromancers can turn undead when they're blind, and I think we found out that it's possible to necromance when you're blind. So yes, we are doing this. That's okay. We are doing actor. Yep. Hit points, confused. Team. Okay. Corpse. Yeah, we're building everyone. And then we actually just don't need this, to be honest. What? While roaming. Roaming to me is basically where you're not fighting and when you're just like going around the world. Can we put this out of the game and just call this race? Turn undead. So that would be final raised corpse. It's turn undead, and I think we just need corpse, right? Are we doing anything else? Corpse. Yeah. Corpse. And where do we put it? It's common in fight, but that's it. So we probably want to put it... Huh. I'll just put it here. So necromancy .dart. All right, and this would be actor, turn undead. Undead. Can I write another actor corpse? And that would be yes. Oh, maybe not. Old state builder W. Actually, I'm pretty sure we want to make this a pure function. Right. Yes. So obviously actor yeah. Okay. So we need to first create a builder, which would be this. Raised builder. Corpse builder? Raised builder. Is corpse to builder. So this is, corpse is immutable, but raised builder is not immutable. I will then hopefully not forget to rename to corpse builder. And that means that all of this can be what's going on here? Corpse, right? Oh, so actor, necromancer, actor corpse. So that would be necromancer. All right, so we are we're doing this. Raised builder build. Deep replace body part. Right, and that's still, we are raised builder, and so we are returning raised builder build, and now we can rename this to corpse. Right, so we get the necromancer and the corpse. We take the immutable corpse and make it into a builder, which is like a thing that we can actually change values with, and we make it undead and assign it hit points and put it up if it's down. Clear the confused flag. There was another bug. Then and assign it to the necromancer's team, and then we heal all the body parts that are vital. So like if there was, you know, if like the torso, if someone slashed the torso and thus killed the goblin, we want to make the torso kind of still work. Yeah, that's how it works. So we have turn undead now, and turn undead takes the necromancer, which is the actor, and a corpse, and then it just replaces the corpse with the raised corpse. All right, which means we can do the same here. First turn undead. Turn undead. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we are not actually repeating that much. I should document this. So takes corpse and transforms it a dead corpse and transforms it into an undead actor. The assigned to the necromancer's team. Also heals vital body parts, so the torso, neck, so the resulting creature can function, so that yup. Okay, that actually makes some things easier. We don't need to do this. All right, time to run the tests. And did I? Oh man, I'm such an idiot. I always forget to switch to where you actually can see stuff. What did you see? Oh no, I'm really sorry. So anyway, we are running the tests here, and here's the final stuff. We were writing this. Did you see any of this? A little bit. I'm really sorry. Okay, so yeah, we have a pure function that takes a corpse and a necromancer and outputs an undead corpse. This looks pretty cool. This looks like we actually have what we wanted. So I'll stop it before it explodes my computer, and let's actually play a little bit. So we have a dagger and everything, and then we just kill the goblin. I'm gonna cheat, so yes, I have the ability to go to the environment and turn the goblin's corpse undead. I raise my hands over the goblin and he opens his eyes, he stands up. Yes. I hear Tamara and I end the fight. Tamara says bye. I go towards the pyramid. I observe the environment and go to the west. There's a smokestack coming, or there's smoke coming, or being to the west. And I go there and I meet a patrol. And the patrol is a goblin. Oh, he's not following. He's not following. I turned the first goblin undead and he's not following. Oh, come on. Come on. All right. First of all, actually, I think I found a little bug that I can. Where's fight situation? Pose max, not pose standing. So that's one. So how come that when I'm in fight situation and I use turn undead there, how come it's not? I would have thought that the corpse would just follow you. Why did it ever follow me, to be honest? Because it should have said, the corpse should have said, hey, how do we make sure that people are following you around? Move actor. Local corpses. I want people to follow the actor. Take approach. That's weird. I thought take approach, apply success. We describe it. Oh, it's following actor ID. So oh, get party off. That's how we find it. Okay, so get party off, and then when we when we move actor, right, move the actor and also all the other actors in the party, right? Right, okay. So we just need to make sure that the new corpse is following actor ID and it's in NPC. So that would be here. NPC following actor ID is Necromancer ID. How about that? How about that? That's actually good. Okay, so let's do this. Play, take, kill. Yep. I will turn him dead. Goodbye. Now let's go to the west. I will just dodge. The goblin lurches. Counter attack now. Oh no. Can I just wait? Why can I attack my own goblin? Can wait. Oh wait, the goblin throws the spirit at the goblin. Okay, so that's bad. The goblin tries to dodge, but the spirit rolls into the goblin's left eye. The goblin freezes for a while and pulls the spear out. That's how we know that the other goblin is the undead. Normal goblin would scream. A necromancer goblin freezes. I shall equip the dagger. Okay, so we need to we also need to We also need to make sure that the corpse is correctly named. So name is first of all, we should make sure that corpse name. So what we're seeing is if the corpse already starts with undead, then we just keep the undead. But otherwise, we give it a new name. It's like undead goblin. Which like brings me to that might be another thing for maybe next week, in the week after next, because we're going through not every week but bi-weekly schedule, but then at some point we can look at the storyline and make sure that if there are two actors that have the same name, we still produce prose that is readable. So if there's one goblin and the second goblin, we can say like, your goblin attacks the enemy goblin, that kind of stuff. Which means that we will need to have in storyline, and storyline is, by the way, if you're in chat, you can ask about these things, and the bot shall reply, I think. Maybe when it wakes up. Anyway, by the way, hi Martin. Yeah, Nightbot replied, the natural language generation class storyline is the natural language generation class, which is the graphics of a gamebook. It's pretty old code, so we can make that code a little better. And storyline would need to know what the characteristics of each of the actors or entities are. So for example, we could attach, instead of changing the name, which is kind of hacky, we could just say, hey, this goblin is still, its name is Goblin, but it's now an undead goblin, and it's also now the necromancer's goblin, and and then storyline can find out, do we need to use that these adjectives or not, and if so, then just put them there. All right, let's see if this works for the pros. As I said, this is a little bit of a hack, so let's see. Right, we'll kill the goblin. Oh, he's down. Okay, I will kick the weapon, yep, and throw my weapon at him. Yeah. Okay. So I hurled the dagger at the goblin, and he tried to catch it in the air, but it rammed into his neck. All right. I will now turn him undead. Oh, I can heal the undead. Can I heal the undead? I put my hand on the neck is healed. I don't think I should be able to heal the undead. Should I? Well, we'll see. And fight. Go towards the pyramid and observe, and go to the west. We meet a patrol. A lone goblin with a spear. The undead goblin lunges at the goblin. Yeah, we need that other thing. And the The goblin shifts the spear between himself and the undead goblin. The undead goblin lunges right into it. The spear goes right through his chest and goes down. Oh no. Okay, the undead goblin's corpse turned undead. Okay, I raise my hands over the undead goblin and he opens his eyes. He stands up. The goblin throws his spear at me. I dodge it, and I wait. The undead goblin. Okay, so this actually, I'm glad that I did this, because otherwise this would now say the undead goblin. But now it says the undead goblin launches himself at his and his teeth rip into the goblin's neck. The goblin falls backwards and twists. He hits the wet ground face down. I give the spear to the undead goblin. Yeah, now I can actually have 2 undead goblins. Oh man, I can heal one of them and I can go to the bleeds. Yeah, there's not much else that I can do, to be honest. Endgame. All right. Okay. Well, we can commit this. And this means this is actually pretty interesting, because this uncovered a flaw with the natural language generation system, when we will have lots of goblins and orcs, and at some point we will get into this. Into this problem. Yeah. Like lots of goblins and fighting each other. So as I said, we could fix it with the storyline, and we probably will. But now I'm thinking maybe a better way to solve this is, I mean, a better, like an easier, faster way to solve this is to kind of make sure that you only ever have one undead with you, and just call him or her undead. Because that's what I was thinking about in, like, even before this. I don't want you, for the same reason as I said with the battle, I don't want you to like be dragging around 20 goblins, 20 undead goblins with you everywhere, because this is just bad for writing, right? You just want one undead and one living person at most with you, and then, you know, fight with another 2 or 3 others. But that's like the limit of how the fight can get complicated, right? So we don't want like 5 goblins with you. And I think that's fair. Like you can just say, hey, you know what, I want to kind of you know, you're a necromancer, so you can just we can say you cannot keep, like, there's some mental energy that you need to put into having a dead body moving. So we can say you can only do it to one of these, and that means that we can force you to be like, oh, you know what, I will put this one undead to sleep, and to the eternal sleep, and I will raise another one. So how would that work? How would that look like? So if the name is already undead, and that's fine. Oh, you know what? undead. So it's the undead. Name is proper noun equals true. Right? So now, like, even if you, what's going on here? If you put someone, turn someone undead, even if it's Brianna, she will just be the undead that's coming with you. It's a little bit of a hack, because now, like, if you turn many undead, then you will have a bunch of undead with you. So that means, what does it mean? That means that we need to, you know what? Before I do something stupid, I just want to commit this. Committing. So add ability to turn undead while roaming. Is this all of this? Yes. Necromancy dart. Fight situation. This is actually not there. Turn undead idle. Roaming situation. Yes, so that's one. We also fix that bug with actors not using their pose max after fight. Okay, and now we have this. Let's see first if it at least a little bit works. So we go here. I can catch it, and I can slash his neck. I can turn him undead. I just slashed his neck. I didn't actually cleave his head off, which would be that will be an interesting necromancy problem for the future. Can you turn someone undead if they don't have a head? I can heal the undead. It feels weird. So I raise my hand over, and he opens his eye. He stands up. Put his hand, my hand on. I put my hand on the undead's wounds, right? That's a bug that I need to figure out. Let me just put it, because my internet connection is terrible while I'm streaming. So bug missing the. Okay. And fight. Go to the pyramid. If I just idle around, that's fine. I can observe, and I can go to the smoke, pillar of smoke. Oh, it should be false and not true. Name is proper noun means you, like, your name is Brianna or Tamara or whatever, and instead I'm okay. Back to the drawing board, or back to the start. This should make more sense, and I think therefore the bug is not actually a bug. That was actually just me botching this one. So take dagger, and I catch it, and I stab his torso, and Turn him undead. Alright, and fight. I go to the pyramid. I observe and I go west. The undead launches himself at my right arm? What? Dude, you're following me. You're my friend. What's going on? Idle. You're my friend, dude. Hates. Hate towards other. So if confused, he's not confused. So hate towards is a measure of how some games call it aggro. It's a measure of how someone wants to kill someone else. If they're confused, they are like, I assign a large number so that people are more likely to attack their friend because they're confused. And otherwise, we're like, if they have been attacked by someone in the last 10 turns, then they will be more likely to twice more likely to have hate towards them. And if they're just enemy with someone, that they will obviously have some hate towards someone. They will want to kill them, and if they're not, then they won't. Okay, so it looks like maybe there's something. Death recency. Alright, I need to attach to this. Alright. Why am I fighting with my own undead? Okay, who is this? This is me. Still me. Wait on. So name equals undead. Okay, so the undead is trying to find out if they hate me. Okay. So apparently I attacked them 5. So apparently 5 seconds ago, or whatever that is, I attacked them, or I did something aggressive towards them, and then okay. Yes. This is bad. This is actually right. Okay, another bug. I was under the assumption here that the only way to turn someone undead is through the action called turn undead. But now we have turn undead idle. And so the best way to do this is to actually add a custom record called actor turning undead. Turning undead. Okay. Marks the turning of actor ID by whatever. Okay. So we just stop this, and we want to check turn undead recency. I'll be turn undead recency is time since last custom record, custom event actor turning undead. Actor ID would be ID. Right. Yes. And that means that we also need to actually set this event. Oh man, where are we using this? Right, record custom. And so both here, turn undead, corpse, actor turning undead, and also here wait a minute. Yeah, this is probably better. Record custom. And yep. Whew. So now, hopefully, the hate towards someone is we'll figure out that we turned someone undead. So let's do this. Someone's working outside. Good, so we take the dagger. What's the time? Okay, 46. We kill the goblin. I turn them undead. And we go to the pyramid. We look around. And then now we go to the west. Nice, okay. So the undead springs at the goblin and the goblin dodges the undead. The undead crashes to the wet ground. That's alright. I will wait. The goblin thrusts down with the spear at the undead, but the undead is able to roll out of the way. Yeah, this reads much better than goblin. But the problem comes now. So I kill the goblin. First the goblin soars, so the goblin leaps back, but he's not fast enough. He's now dead, and now I can turn him undead, and now I have 2 undead. And that's just terrible. So we need to make sure that you cannot. So the next one, I will commit this one. The next will be making sure that you cannot turn undead if you already have an undead in your party. And yeah, and also to do move this into storyline, because otherwise all actors that have been turned undead at any point will have the same name. And I'll say fix this in storyline. Right, so at some point we'll want to be able to say, even if the goblin was turned undead, we want to be able to say, hey, you know what? For example, as you give him to go rest in peace, we want to recall that he's a goblin and not just undead. Okay, I will commit this. Oh, that was a lot of changes actually. Yeah. Yeah, and mostly it was fix bug, which made turn undead idle not register in actor hate towards. Okay. Yeah, and the last thing, I just want to make sure that turn undead is not available if you already have an undead, which should be something like, where's get party of? Get party of is in actor. Okay, so basically in Necromancy .dart we can do a bool is followed by an undead actor necromancer, and that would be, first of all, final party. So basically what we're trying to achieve here is having an easy way to find out if the necromancer already has an undead following him, and if so, then we will not we will disallow you to turn anyone else undead. So get party of, yep, we'll need applicability context simulation and context world, and I think this returns the actors who are following actor and are animated, alive or undead. Okay, so that would be in Necromancy is followed by undead if the return party any actor is anatomy is undead. Is followed by an undead. All right. And so we need to make sure that this is here and not a C. What? Oh, CA. Thank you, type system. And the same things applies to actor. No, what? To the turn undead during fight. All right. Sounds good. All right. What's the time? 53. I think I will just run this and see if there's any glaring issues which we should fix that I didn't see. Thank you all for watching. As you know, do you know? The next time we'll see each other is not in 7 days, but 14 days. This time I'll try to schedule it actually for 10 a.m. and not 11. It's 10 a.m. on Fridays, Pacific time. And today let me go to this. Yeah. So what did we do today? We made sure that you can actually necromance during even the idle times, not just in combat. We talked about a bunch of things. I was talking about nanogenmo for some reason, and we also said, hey, having a goblin that is... we also fixed a few bugs. One of them was if you turn someone undead while idle, they would still hate you and try to kill you in fight, which is fine. Yeah, and then and then we kind of hinted on the fact that the natural language generation kind of hicks up or is not great for when you have a bunch of actors that have the same name. And so I kind of dodged the problem by basically saying, hey, since you will always have just one undead, this is by design from the game design perspective, let's just call all the undead that you raise undead, just the undead. But we want to be also able to just say, you know what, in the future we want to make sure that we can say, hey, like this undead is Leroy, or this undead is the goblin that you killed somewhere, and that's not what we have now. This looks good. Actually, let me skip to the next one. The next text. Wow, this is so slow. Hopefully you can still see me. I'm a little worried that since like I'm making the computer work so hard, it's gonna stop something else. So let's just not do that. Oh hey, it was working. No, maybe not. Yeah, what was I gonna say? We did this. We have necromancy.dart, which I really like, And thanks for watching again. And now I will actually end this stream by what I have here as thanks, and I think it will play my song again. So if you like the song, you are welcome, and if you don't like the song, you should stop the stream